Hello, hello. All right, so I'm going to get started. Basically, yesterday, if you attended Ableton Loop, you'll know that A.Fruit did a really interesting challenge having to do with Foley, using basically sounds that she made at home with just everyday objects that are around the house to synchronize to video. And so I'm going to go ahead and take that challenge now. I had some technical issues yesterday trying to do it live, so I'm going to go ahead and do it today, and then we'll just see what comes out of it. So anyway, let's switch over here. And we've got these videos. So we have these challenge materials, and it comes with a PDF. I might just read like a little bit of it so you get a gist of the goal here. So about the challenge, this session is about exploring sound effects. You'll imagine, design, and create sounds for silent videos, and explore how sound effects can change the mood and content of what we see. During the session, A.Fruit will be taking on the challenge along with you, demonstrating how she imagines sounds and goes about creating them with a variety of techniques. Watch and work along with Anna to form her process, or duck out to try things on your own. You can use the S button below. Okay, so that one's just for the live stream yesterday. Go ahead and feel free to chat if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook Live. I'll try to look at that every once in a while, though my computer's a little slow, so I might have an issue getting back and forth with that, and doing Ableton and all of its processing plus streaming. So anyway, just to give you a heads up. Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and check out these challenge segments here. So let's see. To help you explore the techniques and their effects, we've divided this challenge into two activities, exploring techniques and exploring results. In both activities, you can import the silent videos into live to sync with your sounds. And they have a help article. I already tested that out, made sure it works, so no need to do that. But feel free to search that on Google if you're following along. And let's see, I think if you were part of the Ableton Loop, you probably have these files as well, although I might try to post those in the description or something later, see if the link still works, but we'll figure that out. So anyway, activity 1, exploring techniques. In this segment, we encourage you to try out 3 techniques for making sound. Foley. Okay, so Foley is a technique of recording sounds made with real-world objects to mimic a sound for film, television, or radio. This might mean creating the sound of horse hooves by recording 2 empty bowls being clacked together, or creating the sound of a creaky door by recording a squeaky hinge. Everyone remembers probably the Monty Python video with the coconuts, so luckily, hopefully we don't have any horse hooves to have to do this time. But next category is found sounds. So making effects with found sound means finding sound that already exists and applying it to recorded media. Freesound.org is a great website that hosts sounds that are free to download and use. You can browse recordings from other people or recordings other people have made, download them, and use them for your own creations. And then finally, synthesis. It's also possible to make sound effects by using entirely electronic sounds, such as mimicking the sound of a fizzy drink by filtering noise, or using envelopes and reverb to create sound of an explosion. Live comes with lots of ready-to-use samples that you can manipulate, or you can create something entirely new. So I'm going to go ahead and probably be deciding to use Foley techniques. You can see here in the main camera I have a bunch of household objects and things that I watched the presentation yesterday. I feel like these might work for what we're trying to do here, so we'll just record some of that stuff and see what comes out of it. And then also found sounds. I actually have a bunch of field recordings that I made from when we went on vacation. I think it was back in 2018 or something. We went on vacation to Munich and Croatia. And just I was around here with this Zoom handy recorder you can see here in the side, and just recording a bunch of stuff everywhere. And we'll go through some of that stuff and see if anything works for what we need. And then finally, synthesis. I don't know. We'll see if we need it. I might be able to make enough of a soundtrack for the video using just what we have and the the found sounds that I've got, but we'll see if we need that and then maybe dive into that section. All right, so let's see. I've already kind of had enough experience doing these techniques, but basically I've got here a Zoom H4n handy recorder here. I think it's H4n Pro, and I've hooked it up to Ableton using the USB. So it's just added in here as a input device. So you can go into your live preferences and basically set up your input device. It looks like it needs to be reset here. So always good to check that and make sure that you've got both coming in. And then I've got my sound output all configured and working properly too. So on the Zoom, if you have one of these, basically it's in the menu. I think you go and find the USB settings section, and then you tell it to use the audio interface mode. I think it has like two modes, like audio interface and USB drive mode. So you can go ahead and set that up whichever way works for you. If you're doing USB drive mode, I think you have to record first and then switch to USB drive mode, or take the SD card out and then transfer the files that way. But this way I can just record directly into Ableton, and it saved me a couple steps here. So all right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the activity 2 here. In this segment, we encourage you to explore the ways sound effects can change the mood or communication of video. Use any combination of techniques you like. Okay, choose one video and make 2 versions of sound for it. A realistic version and an imagined version. Okay, interesting. So maybe we will use some synthesis. All right, so design and create sound for this video that mimics how a viewer would expect it to sound in real life. And then imagined, design and create sound for the video that is completely different from how a viewer might expect it to sound. You might also consider other ways that sound effects can affect the mood or communication of visual media, such as atmosphere, room tone, and so on. Cool. All right, so working with video. Anna demonstrated how to sync sounds to video during the session. And then they have a help article. If you want to go check that out, just search for on Ableton's blog, I'm pretty sure. All right, so we know that working with video can be tricky on some setups. If you run into problems, they have a troubleshooting article. Luckily, everything seems to be working okay with me. Hopefully we don't have any tech demo issues today with that. But all right, and then yeah, upload the results. So once we're done, I'll try to upload this stuff and share it and see how it goes. All right, so let's get started here. So we have these video files, and then to import them into Live, you have to go into the session view with the 3 bars here up on the right and click and drag it from wherever you've stored it on your drive. I put it in my user library so it's easy to find. So it looks like the first one here is belljar.mp4, and if it's hit play here, oh, actually let me turn off my intro sound here. So this is just a silent video, and it looks like they just have a plant and they're opening the bell jar around it. So, okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get to the beginning here, and let's see, for this sound, for the realistic one, I think I'm going to use this little big, I guess, this big wine glass here. If you can see that, try to show it in the video. But I think this would make a pretty realistic sound for this because it's a similar shape. It's made of the same material. It's glass. So let's just move some of this stuff around here. I don't know if you can hear that on the other mic, but sounds pretty good so far to me. So anyway, let's go ahead and record this. So I'm going to go here into this view, and then I'll just start recording something here. So hit record arm and then select a clip. And then I'm going to just record in front of the Zoom mic here. Okay, let's see if that works. I was trying to do it in sync with the video so we don't have to fix too much. It's always easiest if you get it right the first time, but of course it's hard to do. So let's just see how it works. I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic so you can hear the sound just from Ableton. Okay, let's hear that again. It seemed pretty accurate. Okay, so that's pretty good. It looks like the little plant inside is kind of scratching against the glass, perhaps, so maybe we ought to add something to the beginning. Maybe like a little scratching sound. Let's go ahead and try to record another one here. And I'm going to change my count in. Let's do like a half bar probably. Okay. Let's see if that even picked it up. So that one sounded pretty good to me. I'm actually pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and grab these over into the view here, and then we'll add them to different tracks. Actually, let me create a new track so we can have it in parallel. There we go. Click and drag over, hit tab to switch views, and then I'm going to just put it right up to the beginning to sync with the video. Oops. Looks like it grabbed both clips onto this one here. Let's try that again. Let's see, where's that one coming from? Oh, we already have this activated. So let's make sure we stop all of the clips in both of these tracks here. I'm just going to clear out this view for us on that one. Let's rename this to just Foley sounds here. Put the video that way. Foley sounds 1 and Foley sounds 2. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that again. Oh. What's going on here? I think this might be deactivated. Nope. Hold on a sec. We have to click these now because it's not. That's right. So we were in the other view, and of course, since we had those clips playing, it wasn't in the arrangement So in session view rather than the arrangement view, so we have to go back to arrangement, so that way it enables both tracks to play in parallel. All right, let's try this again. And show our video here, hopefully. Video window. That's a good shortcut to know, I guess. Option Command V for video window. Okay, so that was one in solo mode. Let's try the other one, double check it. Oh wait, that's the video. Try the other one. And both together. All right, that sounds pretty good. I think there's a little bit of noise that might not be appropriate for the scene. So let's go ahead and look at the spectrum view for that. Sounds like a little bit of high frequencies or white noise there from the paper towel I had down here. Let's try to filter that out maybe. So let's go ahead and grab like an EQ8. Drop that in the track here. Sorry, my mouse is freaking out. I think I need to charge it. Okay, and let's just do a cutoff. Let's see if that does it. A little better. Let's do a little lower frequency, maybe around 1K. It's good to have some ambient sound. Maybe not too much bass though, right? Let's turn that off too. I think I might want to change the timing on that. Yeah, it's a little bit off, so let's go ahead and shift it over a little bit here. Actually, let's go ahead and insert time. So go into the beginning here, right click, and then, or actually it's insert time, edit, where was that again? Hold on. There we go. There it is. Wait, no, insert time signature change. Just gonna go ahead and do this the easy way. Let's just go ahead and give it a little bit of leeway here at the beginning. Oops. Way too far. All right, let's try that again. So let's look at the timing when that happens exactly here. So around there is where we want our sound to begin. Looks like it's pretty close. I'm just going to hold Command and zoom in here. Hopefully that'll give us a little bit more fine-grained view. And then holding this and dragging it a little bit to the left here. Pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and create a locator here so we don't have to always start from beginning. Okay, I'm happy with that. Oops. Sorry about that. I don't know what I hit. Mac shortcuts. So yeah, you can tell this is a live video, so stuff like that will happen. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next video. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and just go further into the timeline view, and we're going to start with the next one. Maybe create like a locator over here for the second video. Or perhaps maybe we should do the unexpected sound instead of realistic. Do you guys want to check that out? Let me go see if anyone's in the chat here. Pretty quiet. Maybe some bots watching. I'm actually using my own custom multi-streaming setup, so I don't have the fancy restream.io chat tool, which was really nice to try out, but not sure I streamed enough to actually make that worth my while. So bear with me here while I go and check on the feed. Here we go. Looks like we're pretty lonesome here. But yeah, if you guys are watching later, feel free to reach out or to interact and share what you've made. I'm interested to see that. So let's go back and switch back to live here and just move on to the next one. I think I'm going to do the realistic ones in a row, and then we'll just go from there. So back into the user library, I have the second video here. It looks like card shuffle. Let's put that in. Let's see what that looks like here. Change that the video window with Command Option V. And there we go. So here's our silent video. Looks like some cards being shuffled on the beach. Let's watch that one more time, so you know what's going on here. So they're being shuffled like on a soft beach blanket or something. Pretty cool. Okay, so I believe I have some cards around here. Hold on one moment. they're hiding right back here. So these we actually got in Croatia when we were out there. I think it was in the Croatian Heritage Museum or something, so it was pretty cool. So just have like some really interesting like old-timey Croatian heritage dress and designs here, some artwork. I thought it was pretty interesting, so we got them. Alright, so let's see if we can replicate this video here. These are actually new cards, so they're kind of hard to shuffle. Yeah, they're not actually doing what I want because they're pretty stiff. Let's see if we can break them in a little bit here. No. Oh man. This works fine, but it's the other way. It's like brand new cards. Oh man. We might need to reach out to the freesound.org for that part, but we'll try it and see what we get. There we go, they're starting to work. So they're actually pretty slick on the back. So maybe they don't have enough friction to do what I want them to do. Okay, we'll go with that. I'm going to go ahead and move the breakable object away. And for our beach towel, I just have this regular old towel here, so let's try it on top of that. Move some of this out of the way. All right. Okay, so we're going to close the video window, go back into our clip view, and then insert a new scene with Command I. And then we're going to hit record arm. It's already hit, so let's turn off solo mode for the other thing here. And actually, well, we should probably start our loop marker over here in session view because we want to be able to start at the point where the video is synced with the sound so make it a little bit easier. So we're going to hit this button at the top here to turn on the arrangement loop and make sure our loop marker is around the card shuffle video. So when I play, and let's go at the video again. So again, that's Option Command V for opening the video window. And it looks like it didn't trigger the beginning. Let's make sure that we have that just right in there. So now we have a loop playing and we have our video showing. Cool. All right, now it's working fine. All right, so now with that going, we go over here into our clip view and we're gonna hit record and then try to sync this up. I'll try my best. I'm not the best at shuffling cards these days, but we'll see what we get. All right, let's see how that sounded. I might not have gotten it on the first take. Oh, we actually need to Maybe it's a little too hot in the mic there, so let's move it back. And I think that was actually longer than we need, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it and just retry again. Go back to arrangement, and then we'll try this one more time. It would help if I had a count in, but for loop mode, it looks like that may not be engaged, so we'll just have to deal with it. Oh, here we go. Here's our count in. I guess I had to be stopped. All right, let's try again. Double check if we are clipping in the mic here. Looks like we might be still a little hot here, so yeah, it looks pretty squished, so let's try a little further back, or maybe I can change my zoom settings here on the microphone to just turn that down a little bit. Okay, let's try that one more time here. Hit stop, go back to arrangement, and once I click this, we should get a count in now. Oh, but our video is not playing. Hold on a sec. What is going on? Oh, it didn't start at our loop. Let's see, we have loop engaged, right? Delete that. Back to arrangement. Click over here. Make sure we're starting here at 9, bar 9. And let's try that once more. Okay, let's see if that worked. Sounds like we're getting a little bit of echo or something. I think maybe it needs to be in mono mode actually, so let's see if we can get rid of one of these channels. Might just be easier to set the Zoom recorder to record in mono. I'm not sure if I can do that in interface mode, but yeah, looks like they just have effects and other effects chain processing on the mic in the Zoom menu. So instead of that, let's go ahead and try to process the audio. I'm going to go ahead and jump into Audacity here. So I hit this edit button, and since I installed Live 11 recently and haven't edited a sample in external tools, it gives me that window. So let's go ahead and get to our applications, find Audacity in here. Should be able to open. All right. By the way, this is a nice decaf tea. So if I start doing a lot of these production live streams, you'll see I drink a lot of tea. Even though I'm in America, I don't know, too much coffee just gets me too jittery. I don't know. So let's go ahead and try to split out these two mono. And so now we have two mono tracks. So again, in Audacity, there's these little tracks on the side. You can kind of like minimize and open them, or look at the menu here by clicking the arrow down here. And you can move them around. It's not as easy and intuitive as Ableton's interface. So, you know, if Ableton could do this, I would probably use it, but this is the way I know how to do this at the moment. So if anyone knows how to sample a stereo clip and process it into mono without summing it in Ableton, that would be great to know. I'm sure there might be VSTs to do something like that, but for now I'm just going to do this, and we're going to edit the file in WAV format, and then just play. Let's see. It looks like we're still clipping a little bit, actually. And maybe I'll show you a little trick to get rid of that. Like if you're having troubles with mics being too hot and you just can't seem to adjust them well, like sometimes you can actually just fix the clipping using Ozone RX. I think they're on RX 8 now. But there's actually a program that, RX8 audio editor. So this tool is really great. Like if you just recorded a DJ set or something, and it turns out like you didn't do all your gain staging right first before you started recording, or something changed, or the mixture you have, like mine, is kind of old and having issues, then you can go back and fix that later. But let's go ahead and just delete one of these and then play it again, see if we get any of that weird echoing. See, there is actually one here. Maybe we'll just mute that. So there's a silence audio selection here. I guess it's Command L, and now it's gone. So now our little clip there is silent, and then seems like it's kind of glitching here. I think I'm going to get rid of that one. Let's try that again. Cool. Actually, I'm going to turn off my speakers and put on headphones. You might be hearing echo through the mic as well. Yeah, okay. That sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and save this and export as WAV, I believe. I think Ableton will record these as WAV to begin with. And we want to go into our location where it is stored, actually. Hold on a sec. to go here, and then where is that stored? Oh, it's in AIF format, AIF. So yeah, we need to export it to this file here. So usually you can right click this top file name, and then it's show in Finder or browser or manage sample file. So I'm going to go ahead and show in Finder just to show you where it's going to be saving, and then we'll try to save in there alongside our project here. So Ableton creates these nice hidden directories for you, usually in your Ableton home directory here under live recordings. And then for all these projects, like if you haven't renamed or saved a project lately, it'll put it in here into like a temporary one. So there's some advanced little Ableton tricks that you might not know. It saves it into samples, recorded, and then in here. So we're just going to copy this file name here, because when Ableton is launching the external audio editor tool, it's expecting it to modify that file. So when you hit edit here, it's going to just launch you into the editor tool. You'll do your edits, save it, and then come back, and it shows up in Ableton. So that's one workflow. Another workflow, if you're like me and you like to have copies of stuff, you can actually save this as a different file. And what that'll do is actually allow you to save both copies. And so you'll have an edited version and the original. And then if you go into Ableton and you click that other option here, manage sample file, open it up, and here's all the sample files that are referenced in this project, and you can find and replace them. So there's like these little hot swap buttons here, and again also the edit button, so you could launch Audacity again on this if you want. And shows you like where it is, and sometimes yeah, if you have an issue, it'll show up here like it can't find it, and you might need to relocate it on your drive. Like if you move the files out of the way, open the project later, and found out, oh, now all of my samples are gone. Well, here's how you would go fix that. You'd go in here and find into this file, this reference file list, and then hot swap them out. So you hit that hot swap button, and then over here you'll see, okay, now it's in hot swap mode in the browser, and you can go and replace it with anything. So if I were to save this alongside here, let's go ahead and do that actually, just to kind of demonstrate. So I'm going to export audio, and you can choose all different types. We're going to go with this Apple AIF format because that's what Ableton did. And let's just name it something else here. Let's name it edited at the end. And again, we have to go find that hidden sort of, not so hidden, but it's just out of the way here in Ableton Live Recordings. And then you just have to know which one's the latest project you're working on. And then go down here and save it into this directory. Don't care about any of these tags. It's just a sample. And so now we should be able to refresh the view here. Hot swap, and then go into current project, edited. Here we go. So now it's refreshed that view for us. There's the edited file that's in mono. Okay, and then we're just going to click that and then exit hot swap mode. And then now we can just quit out of Audacity. It's going to ask me to save the project. I'm just going to say no. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out. Cool. So now we're in mono. You can see there's only one waveform in the view here on the clip view. And I'll go ahead and show you the declip workflow just real quick, because that's pretty helpful if you have Ozone RX8 or RX7 or any of the previous versions has this too. It's just a nice, easy way to kind of undo some problems. You know, I didn't quite test out all of the sounds like this close to the mic, so rather than waste time doing that, I'm just going to show you how to do that. So, okay, now we have to reset our file editor. So let's see here. I believe there's a setting here, because Ableton will save the default audio editor. If you've opened a file, basically it locks onto Audacity for opening the file later. So let's see if we can find that setting. Sample editor. So here we go. So under file folder, sample editor, audacity.app, you go in here, browse, and then we can select anything again. So let's go again and find our Ozone RX8. Let's see if we can just search here. Or not Ozone, Isotope RX8. Open that. And you'll see now it's switched it to Isotope RX8 Audio Editor. Close that. And then now if we hit again the edit button here on the clip, it will open RX8 for us. This is just to kind of demonstrate like how to get into Ableton's settings to switch your audio editor if you're not familiar with that. I know this is kind of an advanced workflow, so just bear with me. Yeah, here we go. So I was doing something else. Let's go ahead and just cancel out that. And here's our new file. Yep. Core audio. Let's just go direct to the. Yeah, the other problem with doing this is some apps will take over your sound card. So my Scarlett 8 here is being used by Ableton solely at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and use the mixer, which I have as a FireWire audio interface. So some of these workflows, you might have to iron out the kinks for you with your equipment and how it works for you. But you know, it is what it is. It just kind of has to be able to use something exclusively sometimes. Let's double check 04. We may not be able to do this actually. We'll see. Core audio. Release when not in use. I haven't actually used RX8 in this way before, so let's see here. See if that releases it. Sometimes it's just fun to explore the settings here. See what actually works or doesn't. I haven't used this since it was RX7, so it may be just something with my installation of the new app. But anyway, that's what live demos come across all the time. Unplanned problems. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and declip it. see if we can do this without even listening to it. See how easy it is. Let's go ahead and just render and see what happens. Okay, so now you notice all these little peaks are now within our 0 dB range. And let's save as or export to another A file. See what happens if we declipped, save it into a new file. That's what's good about doing this workflow too, is if you run into issues like that, you can just always save a new file and you don't lose anything. So again, we're going to go in here and manage sample file, go to the hotspot mode, hit the declip, and now we can listen to it in Ableton. Just flip on my audio device again. Cool. Yeah, it sounds a little better. Got rid of the clipping. It's still a little hot, so maybe we'll turn it down. Yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and turn that down. I'm going to change it to complex pro warp mode. We're not going to be warping it, but it's always good for sounds like this to double check you've got it in the right mode. Let's look at that meter as well here. So we're just reaching up to 0 dB. It's not going over though. Yeah, it's maxed out at 0. I think you have to go into the envelope mixer track volume. Or wait a minute. You know, actually, since I'm already opening in here, let's go ahead and do it this way. It's always better to have it in the file rather than have Ableton do extra work, because then you're not going to be, if you add more VST plugins or anything that's using a lot of CPU, although I don't think volume is very taxing, but if you bake something into or do a resampling flow where you're like freezing a track, that can definitely save you on some CPU. And on this computer, while I'm streaming, that's always a good thing. So let's go ahead and just change the volume here. Oh, my mouse is very glitchy today. I need to charge that. Okay. Let's go ahead and open the utility menu. Let's just do a gain adjustment. Let's bring it down. It's like around there. Let's render and export. And we'll just overwrite that same file we had before. Not the edited, but the clip. The declipped one. replace. And then it's always good to signal Ableton like, hey, I just changed that file. So if it's loaded into memory, that it will reload it. So again, into hot swap mode, click that again, and you'll see, oh, there, now our waveform has changed. So now it's way lower, right? Cool. All right, so this one seems pretty good. I think we're going to need a little bit of ambience, so maybe like some reverb, or maybe just placing it in the stereo field a little bit might help us to kind of evoke like a scene. And again, we're on the beach, so we kind of need some extra ambient sounds anyway. Luckily, I have some field recordings from when we were in Zadar, Croatia, and we were walking around near the sea organ, and so there was some good waves happening and some good sounds for beach that I think might work. So I'll go ahead and find those, and let's go ahead and just put them in another track. I think what I'll do here is we'll click and drag what we have over to the arrangement view. Just get rid of this video window for the moment and put it right up there. Okay, and let's go ahead and go to our user library, and I have mine saved under samples and recorded, and then there's our, oh, it's 2017. Yeah, that was a while ago, before times. Oh, there's some good cafe. I think we might need that later. But right now we're looking for some stuff in Zadar. Here's the sea organ, actually. Really interesting sound. If you've never been there, highly recommend it to visit and check out the sea organ in Zadar, Croatia. Some of it's kind of discordant and dissonant, but it's interesting. It's actually an organ that's been being played by the waves. So there's like a step, there's steps that go down into the water, and then it fills up these tubes with water and pushes air in and out to make these sounds. Really interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and find, let's see. We had some sounds that might work here for this. Yeah, maybe this one. Hold on a sec here. In the middle of the video. Let's just add that one. Maybe this. No, we don't want any of the sea organ. That's kind of strange. Or maybe that's the unexpected one. Some boats. That would be unexpected for sure. This one looks like it's kind of low volume, or maybe the sample got messed up. I thought I had another one. This one might work. No, still the sea organ. Oh, here we go. So I guess it depends how much splashing do we want. It's pretty active. I think it was a wake of a boat going by. Pretty interesting stuff there. Let's go ahead and check in the chat. Yep. that. Pretty quiet. You can see there's a delay as well. Pretty meta. All right. I just pause that. Don't want to overtax my CPU. Oh, and I also am restreaming to YouTube. Don't want to overdo it though. Let's see how this goes. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right, I got my chats up. Looks like kind of lonely here. But oh well, we'll just continue onward. So I think I'm going to go ahead and scrap a few of these, like this one here. Let's create a new track. And this one's pretty interesting. Some good ambience, not too loud. That one might be the one actually. So I'll just go ahead and kind of solo some of these out here, see what they sound like against the Foley. And I think this one here, we do want this because it's got some talking, because like, when have you been at a beach where you're like all alone, unless it's a private one, I guess. But this is actually a nice short clip too, because it matches with the video. So let's see how this looks and sounds together. So now we can turn it up. Just a little bit. Maybe we should add some EQ to this. Oh, it already has some. That's right. We need to do this in a separate track, actually. My bad. Yeah, since we're using the same project for the first video, it took our EQ settings, actually. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Let's create a new... Oh, wait a minute. New track here. Might as well group them. Try to be organized, right? So we'll do the... let's just group these two since we've kind of tainted the signal processing here by adding our EQ. We'll just go ahead and group these together to bell jar, right? Bell jar video, and we can collapse those, get them out of the way. And our, let's see, what is this one? Is this the cards? Yep. Okay, so let's move this guy over to another track here. And we'll group these together. So that's just Command G to group. You just highlight your tracks to group them. Command G and hit the title, Command R to rename. If you see me doing that real quick, that's why I'm just using the keyboard shortcuts. So we're going to call this one, what was it? What was it again? Card Shuffle. Cool. And this can also help us, perhaps, if we wanted to add some reverb to one of these scenes, to try to give it like a feel for being in a certain space or room. So we might do that. We'll see. All right, so let's go ahead and collapse that group. This helps us see what we're doing here in this view as well. And this is way too long for a video, but we might just mix some of these together, perhaps, like, or maybe this one. Let's kind of solo them together and see how it actually works together. Oh, and we also need to add our sound down here. You remember, like, session view is completely separate from the other clip view. So, or arrangement view, sorry. So I'll just go in there and drag our clip down. And we'll do the same with this one. Now that we've grouped them, it wouldn't make sense to put it in that group. Create another track and click and drag into the group. I think you have to go to the title. There you go. Might as well reorder these while we're at it. Okay, so now we've got a cleared out bell jar video group for this video section. And we'll open this one up. The mouse is really acting up today, isn't it? There we go. Alright, so we'll solo that. See how it sounds together. Pretty good, right? Might as well fade these out. Maybe even split this clip here. Oops. I'm actually going to save since I have gotten this far. Let's go into my home directory, or music rather, music production, and Ableton Live Sets, and then I'll just create, this is probably under experiments. And we'll just call this Ableton LoopCreate 2021 challenge. So it's like a Foley challenge, really, so I'm going to name it that so I remember what it was. And this is just my own naming scheme. I usually put the year, month, date because I like to sort by name instead of that, the date in Finder. Because when you're in this view, it doesn't show you all the columns. So that's just my method. Cool. Let's go ahead and save that. And yeah, we're going to go and quit out of RX8. And then we'll just delete the temp project now that we've moved stuff over. Cool. And again, we don't need these MIDI tracks. Let's, at least not now, let's delete those. Looks like there's a frozen track for some reason. What's in there? Oh, that's right. That was my intro music. Let's go ahead and rename that. And tuck that away. Cool. So some of these are pretty running a little hot here, so let's see if we can kind of balance some of these together a bit more. Let's just do a little gain reduction here. Just a few dB. It's already pretty quiet, but maybe this one. Balance together. That's our masterette. -19. Oh, we have to, that's right, we're going to go and shorten those clips, right? So I'm going to go here and split the clip. That's Command E. And maybe just throw this part out. Put a little fade. And we'll do the same here. So now we've got stuff that's about the same amount as our video. Should probably fade for a bar actually, like the others. Okay, let's see. Maybe even just shorten the clip a little bit. See how that sounds with the fade within the zone here. Cool. I think I don't like the fade that long. Yeah, this one's pretty short now too. Cool. All right, I think that one's pretty nice. I'm happy with that. And actually this one we didn't even solo, so I guess we have an option, either this one or this one. Let's see what it's like. I think it might be too loud. I think there's already enough waves in this first one. What about these two together? So you have the option of a more rhythmic one, it sounds like, or this one. Kind of quieter, calmer waters. That one sounds a little too forward in the mix, so let's go ahead and disable that one. And actually, if you click the clip here, if you don't want to disable the whole track, you can get Command 0, and it will actually disable track usually. Oh. Oh, it's actually Control 0, sorry. But I'm on a Mac. Okay, Control 0 to deactivate tracks. So, so yeah, if you just don't want to disable the entire track, which for us it really doesn't matter, I'm just kind of showing different ways of doing this. I think this one needs a little bit less volume. So we're not that close to the shore, are we? Maybe this one as well. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and move on. I think I might want to well, let's play around with the stereo field actually, because maybe we can give some directionality to where the waves are coming from, right? I kind of imagine they're like off to the right somewhere in this video, so let's try and do that. I guess we could try simple panning first and see if that gives us enough of what we're looking for. And if not, I have another VST that we could try. So let's see here. I think you have to go to session view for the pan pot. Okay, so let's go ahead and double check. We've deactivated track 9, and then we've got tracks 8 and 10. I think 8 is still some ambient waves. It's kind of hard to separate stuff like that out in the field recordings. So that one's kind of the calm waves, and then we've got this track 10, which it sounds like is some splashes here and there. Okay, little quiet splashes. So both of these we want to apply the same effect to. So I may just end up grouping these together. Let's reorder those. So now we've got 8 and 9. And again, you can just right click in group tracks or hit Command G. And we're just going to call this waves or ocean ambience. Do that. Cool. And for this now, we can apply to the group, grouped track here, just a slight pan to the right, and we'll see how that goes. Oops. All right, let's see how that looks. Sounds already a lot more realistic. Yeah, I think I like that a lot. I might do some EQing to this. That's right, we were going to do that, and then we moved on to other stuff. So let's go ahead and go back to here, turn on our EQ8 on the Foley Sounds track. And don't need all the bass, so cut that out. Probably even up till around here. Let's see how that sounds. Probably could even go further. Let's get rid of some of those extra nodes in the middle there. And we'll just kind of probably around here. Let's see how that sounds. That's pretty good. I do want to play with that VST, but we'll see if my computer can handle it. If it doesn't do well, then we'll just take it out while I'm streaming. So I have this interesting Baradio spatializer. This was actually a demo version that was given to us as part of the Audio Engineering Society for one of the talks recently this year. So highly recommend checking them out. Basically, this is a spatial audio plugin, and it works in binaural mode and stereo mode and all these different placement modes. So basically the center circle here is the listener, and then this square represents the room, and then you've got like a length and dimensions of the room. So you can turn on and off the room, but basically the idea here is you have something recorded in a space, and based on the early reflections from the different walls in the room, you can make the sound like it's coming from all over around your head. So as I move this blue circle here around, we can kind of see like where is this sound coming from, and it works really well if you're wearing headphones. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of play around with this, and we'll see if it's too much for this space. I mean, we're in an outdoor scene, so the room reflections don't quite fit here, but I kind of just want to play around with it and see if we can get something sounding interesting. So let's switch to binaural mode, and then we'll put this right in front of us, and we'll see what it sounds like. See, now it's in a room, so that's way too much reverb. Doesn't sound right, but that could be unexpected. Like the prompt gave in our little challenge here, an imagined scene. Like, this doesn't have to be realistic. So that could be fun. But what about if we just kind of change this room type here. Realistic, let's say all carpet, because we don't want that much reflections here. We're not in an outdoor space. We just want to kind of have the feeling that like these cards are in front of us, maybe. Still a little bit, maybe a really large room, right? Like, try to get to the max. That might be a way to simulate a very large outdoor space, actually. Still sounds a little too much reverby. Z needs to be higher as well. Z is like the ceiling height, I believe, so we're still hearing like that reverb from a ceiling. See, now that sounds a little better. So the sound source, I want to kind of go down here again. It's hard to see once you zoom out in these big rooms to see how far away something is. It looks like to the camera, our video here is kind of close, within a few meters, or within 1 meter. So this plugin may not be exactly what we want here, but it's kind of fun to mess around with, right? Like maybe even closer. See, like right in front of us. Really close. I may just like demo this real quick to show you like what you can get out of it, because it's really interesting. We might use this in another video. I'm going to change my loop marker back over here and then enable that. Let's see what it sounds like over here, right? Like you can trick the listener. See, now it's over there, which doesn't line up with the video, right? Like let's see what that's like. That's unexpected, right? It's trippy. What about if it's behind you? Doesn't sound actually too bad. What if it's over here? That'd be weird, right? So yeah, something imagined that could work for that, right? Like just playing around with these things to create some sort of unexpected scene. So okay, I'm gonna turn this off because I think I was happy with the first version, just for the simple panning the water out there. Or perhaps let me just duplicate this and then put it really close. We're just going to try like super close, and then very large room, and then see if that is detectable enough to be like different. So we'll kind of A/B it, right? So okay, first without. Okay. Sounds a little too much reverb still, right? Sounds different. Yeah, so that plugin uses reverb in a way that our ears understand as spatial information. So perhaps just working in stereo and not trying to do some fancy binaural stuff would be the most realistic sound for this clip. So that was interesting. Good experiment. Let's move on to the third video. So I'm going to go ahead and add a locator here. Just call it 3. And I think our third video was the cat, or no, the cork, right? Oh well, I don't have to go in order. I kind of want to do the cork one actually, so let's try that. So I'm going to collapse my group here, insert another audio track, and just group it with itself for now, just so we have one for cork video. And minimize this, save space, because I'm working on a laptop screen that's only 13 inches. And let's go ahead and go into user library. And I believe I have clips video. Here we go. So here's our cork video. And let's go back to our samples, because we're going to probably check for some field recordings or other stuff that I had before, maybe to make some ambient sounds here for that cafe, like perhaps this one. That seems like an outdoor space. A little bit of reverb. Actually, I think that was in Dubrovnik. There was like this cafe in Dubrovnik and the stone on the ground. It's in like an old walled city. So there's a lot of reverb and interesting ambience there. I think I have some indoor somewhere here. Search for lights. Yeah, nope. Kitchen, yeah. Yeah, so either of these might work. It still sounds like it's in that same cafe, but we might be able to do something to make it sound more interesting. This does sound like it's pretty much in a room. It's a lot closer. So yeah, let's just throw some of these in there. Maybe this here. We'll kind of demo these together and see. I think this one's a little too loud. It's also walking, so you get the footsteps in there. Yeah, let's go with that, and then let's do a new track, a new audio track, Command T, and we're going to call this the Foley sounds. So we're going to go ahead and record some cork sounds here. And here's our video. Let's move our loop over to match that. And I think what we'll do first is disable these. Just watch the video on its own. Kind of strange with that sound, right? It's a silent movie. So yeah, it looks like she's in, there's like a wall behind her. She's opening a wine bottle, and there's a nice little close-up there. So we're gonna probably use a few of these bottles, and I have a few to play around with. I have my towel here and paper towels in case I make a mess. So I'm kind of doing this in my makeshift studio here. Yeah, I guess nobody's in the chat. Just wanted to check that I'm not ignoring you guys. Sorry, I'm not trying to do that if you were there at one point, but it's just my computer's really slow, and so I have a small screen, so I don't have another screen to look at. But we're just going to move ahead with this video, the cork video. So again, Option Command V to show the video window. We're going to use these 3 bottles real quick, and maybe I did get a wine bottle opener here, you can see. So we might try to mess around with that a little bit, and see what you guys think. So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn down the volume again on this, just because we were clipping before. In case I make any loud clinking noises here. Oh yeah, we're clipping. So let's go way down. So we're pretty close to the mic. Looks like it blinks when it's clipping, so that's interesting. That's good to know. Alright, I guess if I do this, I need to be further away. So, alright, let's go ahead and try this. So it looks like we have the cork being pulled out and some squeaking probably against the glass. I have this little bottle here that I know makes some really nice squeaking noises when it's got like that. So we're going to try that one, and then I know this one makes a good like popping noise, so we'll use that for that part. And this one's just an interesting different rubber cork, just to see maybe we could make it be a champagne bottle, because this is carbonated here, so I'll let it kind of pressurize a bit. Open that in a second, hopefully it doesn't spill everywhere. But we have our trusty towels here in case. Alright, so I think we're ready to go. We just need to record our Foley sounds track and go in here. Let's record it into a clip. I always like to work with clips when I'm doing this sort of thing because I can do multiple takes or just delete one and restart it. So let's go ahead and try watching it one more time first to see what we need to do. So it looks like she's kind of shifting the cork back and forth and then pulling it out. Okay. Alright, so let's try that. I think I was a little slow on that take, but we can fix it. Let's see what that sounds like. A little late. Again, unexpected, right? Like we could play with timing to make the listener realize, oh, this isn't actually the right sound for this. Oops. Let's go back to our loop here. Okay, so it looks like our clip can be moved over now. And let's go ahead and zoom in. So I'm going to click the bar up here and then go down with the mouse to zoom really close in. And let's just watch where this happens in the timeline. Oop. Okay, so it looks like it's about a bar early. Or, wait a minute. Not a bar, but just like this much here. So let's go ahead and warp. So we're going to go into warp mode, complex pro, and just kind of move this pop up a bit. And oh, one other thing. I think what we want to do is lock down one of these. So I had this explained to me by an Ableton trainer once. Basically, the waveform is like a slinky. You can think of it like a slinky. So if you're going to move and stretch this thing over time, it's nice to lock one part of the slinky in place so that you don't affect everything by dragging another beat or sound around. So now if I drag this one, you see it doesn't change anything. It looks like when we drag it, also with the video window open, Ableton lets us preview what frame in the video we are seeing. So it looks like maybe like around here is right where it pops. So let's move the pop sound to there, and then we'll see what that looks like with the video. Still seems a little bit late, but perhaps we should shift the whole thing over a little bit. Maybe just mute these. Hold on a second here. Back to arrangement. I think we also have this one still active. Let's go ahead and just disable that, hitting 0. Click it and hit 0. That's a little better. So the last pop looks right on cue, but I think maybe for these ones here, I think we're missing a few. I might actually try to just do another take real quick and we'll see how it comes out, but just hit that deactivate for now and then go to a new one. Okay, that was another take. This might be a good place to play around with comping. So in Ableton Live 11, they just recently added a feature called comping. So in order to do that, I believe we need multiple tracks. So let's go ahead and just do a new audio track. Foley sounds take 2. And we'll go ahead and see if we can do this together. We'll enable both. I haven't actually tried this in a live set yet, so this is a good place to maybe use that. Back to arrangement. Disable the ones in session view. We'll just go into arrangement view and we'll do some comping. Sure, take lanes. Let's see. Show take lanes, so that's Option Command U now. It's a new one. I'm wondering if we need to actually envelopes, nope. Make sure these are both in warp mode, complex pro. Select track content. Let's see, how do I add a clip to a take, or do I have to actually record in arrangement view? Let's go back over here again and just enable these two. And so we have take lanes enabled, but it's not showing any takes. Let's go ahead and try recording over one of these, see what happens. And I think overdub mode maybe. Session record. we'll go ahead and record enable. Show our video window. I think I have to hit record as well. So I'm going to try to be really quiet. So, okay, now we've recorded a second take. I guess we should have started initially. We have fun, sort of a stereo doubling effect going on there with that one. So I think now that we have a take lane here showing, we can drag in our other sound. So instead of having, I guess, in a different track, it's within the same track, and then I guess we would have had to record initially to start out doing takes. So good to know. I guess we'll just kind of go with it from here. But I think that what we want to do is oh, wait a minute. So we have our Foley Sense 1 as our take lane 1, Foley Sense take 2 as take lane 2, and then it looks like when we play, which one is it? It looks like it's taking take 2. Yeah. So what we want to do is modify the take. So we want to like cut in our gain, perhaps. Let's see. Wait a minute. That's the clip gain. We want to just enable this, like select and copy to main lane. I guess you just hit enter. Okay, so then it'll comp them together. Let's see what that's like. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and take this one also. I'll just try to hit enter. There we go. That's pretty good. I could go with that. I mean, it's not going to be perfect exactly, but let's try doing a few more takes. So now that we have that set up, recording a new one should create a new take lane, it looks like. So let's go ahead and try one of the other bottles. So this one doesn't really make any sound other than the pop. So we're just going to record that part. Alright, so there's our third take, it looks like, down here. But I didn't get any sounds there, it looks like. Oh, now it's showing the pencil. Okay, so now we have a pencil view to kind of select. It's not showing me any of the clip. Let's delete that. Why is this? Oh dear. It looks like it actually undid what we did before, huh? I must have clicked something without realizing. Okay, so we're back to here. I guess we don't want to be with the pencil tool on, so I'm going to press B to turn the pencil tool off, delete this, and then maybe even delete the lane. And then I think with overdub on, try this again. Okay, so now let's see. We're still getting some funkiness here happening. So I want to record arm this track, the one with the Foley sounds, right? Let's go back to arrangement. Oh, where's that coming from? Back to arrangement. Okay, just play it again, see what's going on here. That's very strange. Like I said, I've never played with this before. Okay. Okay, let's try without overdub actually. Okay, so it kind of overwrites even though we don't have overdub on. It looks like it's overwriting the entire take, so not sure that's what I want to happen by default when I'm comping. So I don't know if that's a feature request away or something to happening, but let's go back into draw mode. It looks like draw mode is what we want here to select a take and then to just select part of a take. So it looks like we can use that to kind of fix the errors that were introduced here. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of repeat what we did before. So getting rid of this extra pop there. And then I'm going to try our third take pop in place of the other two. And we'll see how that sounds. That's more interesting, but it doesn't sound realistic, does it? So maybe that's our imaginative version, right? It's actually kind of comical. Okay, so that model was interesting. Let's try this next one here. This one, I might only have one take, so that's why I saved it for last, but let's hope we get it right. Okay, so didn't have overdub on, just hit record, and kind of let's see what happens here. Okay, so that's like the champagne bottle sound, right? It might be clipping, but we'll hope it's not. If it is, we might have to fix it. So this, again, where RX8 comes in play here. It's actually pretty short, so it's hard to tell if it's clipping. But I do want to check that while we're at it. So I still have RX8 as my editor, so I hit edit and now it opens it. And again, let's say no, because we didn't want to save these. Yeah, it's looking like it's clipping pretty badly actually, so I'm going to try to fix that. Since I was a little too close to the mic, and with something like that, you know, I don't have a bunch of bottles to work with, so I gotta get it right on the first take, or maybe I wait a little while and shake it up and try again, but I don't want to make a mess, so I'm going to try this way. So first we're going to go into the repair mode, and then we're going to try declip again. And let's see, let's do -2 on both ends. So we're going to try to crush that waveform and rebuild it. I think that's what's going on. We want to try high quality, 0 makeup gain, and a post limiter. And then since we can't use our audio in this, we're just going to render and hope it works, right? So let's see what happened here. It looks like it kind of reconstructed it a little bit and brought it into check a little. Export to A.F and then do this. And we're going to say edited, declipped. Oh, you might want to call this cork as well, just so we know what to be looking for in the Finder window or in Ableton's browser. And for this clip, I believe we can still go into here and manage sample file, and it's going to highlight this one for us. We're going to hit the hot swap button and select this. That's a little better. Much less detectable. Okay. And now, yeah, it's definitely not clipping now. We can actually turn that down a little bit. Maybe around there. And then let's try to do this comping here. So again, I'm going to press B for draw mode, and then select the parts I want. I think this is our hit here. We might actually have to warp this, but it looks like it's actually on time. Let's see what happens. So there's our imaginative one for sure. I think that one's the most fun. Okay, so pretty cool. That's a quick demo of the new Live 11 feature that I have never used before except on live video, comping. So I think I'm pretty happy with the Foley sound for that now. I think maybe I might do something with this this here. Yeah, let's do a little bit of sound like that to add to the cork squeaks there, but I'm going to do that in a different track. So we'll just kind of leave this as it is, minimize the take lanes here, and then new track, insert audio track, record arm on that, and then go back to the beginning, show our video. Maybe for guidance on the timeline, I'll try to follow where these squeaks are happening, because it looks like when she moves it, it kind of like, actually, yeah, it looks like there might be some sound like that happening. So let's go ahead and try to replicate that a little bit here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and record an arrangement view, because it looks like comping works well in this view starting out. I think the problem was before I just didn't start out in arrangement view. So, okay. Okay, let's see how that sounds. Try to plug this so I don't make a mess. Okay. Let's just solo that and see what that sounds like on its own. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. I may just do a take of silence so that I can easily get rid of that doubling effect there without having to edit the audio file. Let's try it. Okay, so I've got another take. I'm going to show take lanes, and haha, now we have a take lane of silence to play around with. So I'm going to go ahead and select this whole thing again. It looks like just, oops, yeah, it looks like if we go zoom in, so let's go ahead and hit Command and scroll. It looks like my zoom recorders, since it's in stereo mode, the way I've got it, it's going to be messing around with these duplicates. So rather than try to fix that in a different way, I can just comp over it like that. Again, pressing B to deactivate the pencil tool, and hitting our zoom out up here. You can kind of see the resulting waveform up at the top here, and then our cork pop here, which it looks like we may want to shift this over like a little bit. We'll see how it sounds there, because if we overlap them, it might add too much to the mix at that point, or it might sound like too much happening in the same instant. So let's see what it's like now and see if we do want to move it or not. Okay, so it looks like that on its own works. Let's take off solo and try them all together. Yeah, that's pretty funny, right? Cool. Okay, so that's sounding good. Let's add in our kitchen ambience and see what that sounds like. Pretty decent. Not too much going on. Let's try adding the other one in and see what that's like. I actually like that because it looks as if when she's putting her arm down again, she's like setting something down on the table, and it just so happens that we have a sound of something happening on a table off to the left there. So now she's like putting it down or something. That's actually pretty cool. All right, I'm happy with that. So that's kind of our combo of realistic and imaginative, like making it into a champagne bottle. So let's move on to the next one. Insert another audio track and then Command G to group. And then I believe this one's like the cat licking video. Right, let's double check. Or cat glass, they call it. Let's just name it the same thing so I don't get confused later if I ever open this. And we're going to go here to our other tracks. Let's go and add the video in. Zoom out. Skip over here a little bit and add a locator. Number 4. And we'll just click and drag this in. Oops. Wrong one. And move it over. There we go. So let's go ahead and watch this one on its own. I think it's just a cat licking a glass or something. Oh, I should get rid of those other ambience, right? Although it could work for this scene as well. Maybe we'll use the quieter version. Yeah, maybe this one I'll just cut since we didn't use it, and I will paste it in here. And then this one, let's go back to the other video first here, and we're going to see when it ends right around here. Okay, so then right around there is when we're going to mute the rest of the track. So right around that marker, and then selecting here, and then I think I can just split with Command E and delete the rest and add maybe a little bit of a fade out. Sorry about that, I just forgot to make sure nothing else is playing when we're doing our cat video. Maybe a little more of a fade out there. Oh, I'm sorry. I should mute that one as well. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, that's pretty close. All right, moving on. Let's move this one over to the right marker. And now we are done with the cork one. We're going to move on to the glass video. So it looks like we have a cat licking a glass. It looks like a fancy crystal glass that makes a distinctive sound. So I actually have this one I recently got, and for the cat's tongue, I thought maybe this little matcha bamboo whisk would help, because if you've ever had a cat, you know, like their tongue's a little rough, so I figured like something like this might help us. So we'll try that, see what it sounds like, and then maybe add in this maybe a little quieter of this ambient sound here. I think this might be a little loud. Let's listen to it first with the cat video and see, does it fit? Definitely puts it in a space, but is it the right space? It looks like the cat's in a house, so it's kind of like quiet. Maybe there's some people in the other room. Let's try this part. Maybe it's like a dining room. People around clinking stuff. I think that could work. Let's listen to the rest of this and see if there's a better spot to cut in. Yeah, maybe here. It's like a little more mellow. A few things happening. Oh, that's interesting. I think that's an espresso machine. Okay. So, alright, maybe we'll cut in like here. Maybe a little quieter part. Let's see, I need to move my loop again. The part's kind of doesn't fit, does it? This might be a good spot actually, or I could start at the beginning. But that's the espresso machine. That doesn't really fit, does it? Maybe over here. That was unplanned. I guess it does actually pressurize over time. Maybe we could have gotten a second take. This sounds pretty mellow. Seems like it might fit. Alright, so I'm going to select where the video is here. It looks like at that marker. Command E. Again at the end, Command E. We'll throw these parts away. And then maybe like a quick fade out. Looks like right there. Maybe move this over a little bit. Let's zoom in. I'm just going to end it right there, and then we'll do like a short fade out. Cool. Maybe even shorter. Alright, so now we've got our ambience in the room. Let's go ahead and mute that for the moment, and then we'll move over to another track for our Foley sounds. Okay, so we've got this here, and I guess we're just going to make some cat tongue noises on a glass. Let me move this away. Let's check that we're not clipping. Yeah, we're good. Okay. And I guess again we should start an arrangement view in case we want to do any comping. Got to get that cat tongue rhythm down. Okay, actually, did it record arm the right track here? Hold on a sec. I don't think we had a track record arm. Let's try that again. Yeah, always be arming your tracks. Yeah. Oh wait. It got put somewhere. Where is it? Something was armed. It was probably the last video. It's probably this. Okay, I think since we're on a different spot of the timeline, this is okay. I may try to copy this. Let's see here. Oh, I see. This is our second take, which we didn't actually do. So, okay, let's just go ahead and delete the take lane. It looks like we had this old track in the Cork video we were using armed, so that's okay. We can just select this and select that and just kind of copy our resulting audio. So we're going to turn off the pencil tool, we'll just copy this clip, move it down to our cat glass one, and then put it in our Foley sounds and line it up, paste it in. And then this one I think we can just throw away. Actually, let's delete the take lane and clip, and then delete these. So, okay. It looks like that should be fixed up. So now let's make sure we're not arming any of the tracks in the old video section. But luckily that was like way over there in the timeline off to the left, so we weren't overlapping anything. We're okay. Let's go zoom in on our little section here again and then see how that sounds. Okay, so it looks like we need some like mouth noises. That might be something I actually have a recording of, believe it or not. Let's go check. So in user library, on our trip, do we have anything? Crunching mouth eating sound. Let's see. That could work. So let's see, let's add a audio track here, drop this in. Might need to line it up and figure out where it fits, but I'm just going to drag it in for the moment and then add another track to see what is this. Okay, maybe not. Is there anything around this one where we're recording the same kind of stuff? Let's see. Oh, here we go. No?
Right. She said he's coming.
See, one of these little clinks might be good. I don't know. Or that. No. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff in here. We were like holed up in an Airbnb cabin while it was raining, so we were like recording a bunch of stuff. Got some rain.
clean up the mess.
Oh man. I thought I had something that sort of sounded like this in here. Dishware. So it's kind of fun sometimes to go through all of the old field recordings I've got. This could work. Maybe not so rhythmic though. Maybe if I made that into a sampler and then just like played the right sound where it happens. Yeah. Let's try this. I'm going to go ahead and load that into a sampler here. Over here. Yep. Instruments, sampler. Alright, let's do simpler. A drum, maybe just a drum rack actually. We don't really need to repitch or do anything fancy. I'm just going to use a drum rack. And this needs to be a MIDI track now. So inside of a drum rack, it will create a sampler for this sound we just loaded. And we just want to select the part of it that we like. So I'm going to get out my Ableton Push over here. Since I was using it as a table. Let's see what this sounds like here. Maybe just some like really light glass sounds too. Yeah, we could even just like play this whenever the cat's tongue hits the glass. Something like that maybe, or maybe the lighter ones are good because it's just so ever so lightly touching it. Got like a double hit there. That sounds pretty good. That sounds like a cat licking, right? Alright, let's try that. Let's do a MIDI version and see if we can do better than what we had with the bamboo whisk here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, solo the track, get to the beginning here, and then so it looks like the cat kind of lifts its head up. So it's like licking, and then it licks up to like kind of munch on it, and then maybe a few more licks. So let's try to replicate that using this MIDI device. Alright, let's see if that's any good. I might have messed up a little bit. It's okay. Yeah, that last one, let's try to get rid of that one because I think that one's off. So delete. So just in the clip view, I can go in to clip view, select the mini clip I just played, and the only hit we have is this little glass hit. And we can play around with the velocity, maybe make it sound more realistic or something. But this is just a quick challenge thing. It's already I've gotten really into it because it's kind of easy to lose track of time and having fun doing fun creative stuff like this. So let's just try to keep it simple. And we need some like mouth munching sounds and then that. So let's go ahead and try to get this crunching going on with it. Okay, so it looks like we had some laughing and snickering in the background because that was pretty funny. Maybe we'll move this a little over, and that's actually an interesting sound that might work too. You know what? I'm going to actually load this in the sampler too, in the drum kit rather, as a sample. So in our drum rack, I'm going to hopefully, actually hold on, I need to move my video out of the way. I'm going to put in another note and then kind of just select that first part. We have to unsolo the other track. So yeah, let's go ahead and add that. That's actually pretty close to a licking sound too, isn't it? So let's try to add in, let's just copy all the notes. So I'm going to hit the piano roll to select them all, and you can then hit Command C, hit this one, and paste them in. Make sure to paste at the beginning of the clip. Hopefully we can get that right. Yep, there we go. Actually it's quantizing it, so let's click and drag, and I think Command Shift looks like, or no, just Command and drag gets you right on the button there. Alright, so now we have two sounds, the glass hit and the licking sound. Let's see if that works. Oops. We need to solo that. Might be a little too loud though. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that quieter. So inside of the drum rack, I'm going to go in and just select the sampler, and I'll just turn down the gain of it real quick here and see what sounds right. It's pretty decent. Maybe even a little less. Now we are in a room, and I think I want to place this front and center, but let's try that that VST I was using earlier, see if we can kind of give it some reflections off the walls, because we are in a room with walls here, so maybe that's a better plugin to use for this case. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop it at the end of my chain here and change our sound source to be like right in front of us. And let's see, how big is the room? Well, let's do a realistic room with the materials carpet and maybe brick wall. That's kind of like drywall, and a ceiling tile, I guess they use. So Let's see what that sounds like. What about if it's behind us? See, now it's maybe too far away. Hold on a second. Oh, I need to set it up into the binaural mode. Yeah, there we go. See, that makes it sound much more realistic because you're in a room and the sound now is kind of being blended together with some of that early reflections from the room reverb that's happening here. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Maybe even just turn it down a little more. But we better listen to that with the ambience to make sure it's not too loud and gonna get lost in the mix. So let's solo it with that and try again. I think we might want to turn down that clip a little bit here. Yeah, I'll turn that down. That's pretty good. Sounds like it's pretty close to the camera. The other stuff's further away. You're in a room. It sounds more realistic. And I guess we just need the crunching sound if that even works or sounds realistic, but sometimes you get funny results with it too, so we'll see what it's like. So let's go ahead and just solo that one first. And start from the beginning. You know what? I'm going to load this into the sampler and we'll play it again with the impact that the cat is munching on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab this and then switch over to the device view here. And then click and drag it into a new drum pad. And then we're just going to select maybe each hit individually. We'll just kind of like duplicate this to another pad, which I think you can just click and drag to move it. But if you click Command, then, all right, it's, remember here, yeah, Option. So you click Option, click and drag, and holding Option, it will duplicate it over to the next one. And so then all you have to do is select your next hit like that. And again, this is way easier on the push. If you're using slice mode too, you can just go into slice mode and, you know, basically it'll do all of this for you. But since we're only doing 2 of them, I'm just going to do the one-shot mode. So again, here we go. Let's test these out. Oh, we need to solo our drum kit. So that kind of has like some built-in reverb, which is okay. But we might want to turn it down a little bit depending on the mix out here. Let's try to match this in time though. I can do different volumes by hitting the velocity at a different pressure. So I might just do really light. Let's try that. So I'm gonna hit play and then just do a practice run. That's pretty funny though. And then again, let's select this clip, go into it, and maybe even okay, let's try this. Nope. Now, will it show take lanes for MIDI? Let's see. Cool. All right, so we have a few good take lanes here. I know this one is not, or wait, hold on a sec. Let's go into the view here and then just select our original, make sure we're not messing it up. So there we go, we can do MIDI comping now. Let's just select these. And then maybe just move one of those notes up because I was off timing and distracted by the video. Get out of draw mode by pressing B. And then we will select this one, go move it up, and then delete that one. And we might just want to edit these to make them a little less ridiculous in volume. So moving down this velocity slider here. That one's probably okay. And we'll see how this goes. This one we probably want way down just to 1. Because that sound is kind of ridiculous. Let's see if this works at all. Yeah, that's way too loud. And it sounds comically hilarious too. So let's go in here and maybe just select each of these 2 pads and turn them down. Let's turn down the gain on that. Down, so we're going 4.1 dB on that one. And we'll do the same on this one. Maybe we'll even have to do more. Let's try more. It's like 7. Yeah, it's still way too loud. Let's go look at our mixer. So over here in this view, you can click any of these numbers here and it will reset to the loudest sound. So we're at a minus 24-ish. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Sorry, my computer's lagging a little bit. So we're at either a minus 39, maybe a minus 38 or so. So we want to try to match that. So from 8 to minus 39. So it's like 39 minus 8. 31. Okay, so that's going to be turned down way more. So I'm kind of go in that ballpark and we'll see if we have a good result. We'll start there. Around minus 30. a little better when you turn it down. It doesn't sound as ridiculous. For a cat, at least. Because, you know, they have like tiny mouths. It's around like 35. We might want to turn it up a little bit more because it's hard to hear it. But I think that's working a lot better. A little too much. Let's turn it like in the middle somewhere. That's better. Do one more. That's good. Oh, actually, we need to fix our MIDI clip. It's not even using the other one. Is the comping using it, or is it just missing that hit? No, it's in there. Let's see. Instrument rack. Oh, they're both called instrument rack. Let's go and rename those so we know what we're talking about here. So this is like crunch 1. So I'll go in and hit the drum pad, click it, and then Command R, and then you just type a name. Same as renaming a scene or a clip or anything in Ableton. Crunch 2. So there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and check our MIDI clip. Alright, so now we have crunch 1 and crunch 2. Let's do maybe around the same value as this guy. So this one is what, an 18? So let's go ahead and do that around the same velocity. And then we'll try to match the volume on that sampler as well. So on the sampler gain, we had 27. I think I was a little too high. Let's do 27. And then we'll see how that is. So we're listening for this one here on the right. Oh, actually, it's because of our comping. So we're missing the hit because it looks like it was an old version of this clip that before we edited it, we forgot to reset our comping to include this whole section. So now our main clip has it. That's what's going on. Okay, so back into draw mode, select it, undo draw mode, and then start over. Okay, so that gives us a little bit of variation in pitch, it seems like, without that like comical crunch. Maybe like a little bit more volume on that. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and listen to it all together. And now we don't need this entire clip at all, so I'm just going to delete that track since we decided to go with sampling it instead. Now I'm starting to think that the Foley sound is a little too loud. Let's turn that down a little bit too. Let's actually look in this mixer and see how hot that sound is. Minus 28. So I'd expect it to be like slightly louder than the cat sound. So that's about right, but maybe just like fine tune a little bit. Maybe some EQ to check on those low. Just want to get rid of that, all the lows. And maybe we'll put a high shelf on here too. Like dampen some of that ringing. I want to duck this a little too. It's like so quiet. Like if I turn it too loud, you know, those mouth sounds sound not like a cat at all. So I think I'm gonna like leave it a little low in the mix actually. And we can try turning it up a little bit more. Let's see. Let's do it as a group so that way let's see, let's use the utility. Or actually, you know, the cat is actually sitting there inside of a cup, so maybe we should try to emulate some of the reverb that's happening from that. Okay, let's do that. Because it's kind of getting lost in the background ambient noise, which is kind of what you want, but kind of not too. So let's try this hybrid reverb. That's the new one. So over here on the end of my chain, we have our Brodio, but before that hits the room, we should hit the cup. So let's see, what does that sound like? Oops. Back over here. And maybe some EQ, so actually want to see where is that in the spectrum. Could do a resonator perhaps, but these are usually for big rooms, so kind of want to stay away from that. Hmm. Egg cups. Small ambience. Let's see. Kind of leaning to the egg cup. Yeah, those are too big. I think the egg cup is like the closest small. Probably want less decay. Shimmer. Let's check what the algorithm does. Quartz. Tides. Or prism. Okay, I think that one sounds good, but it's way too big, so let's dial this back. Turn down the size knob. That's a little too big still. What does it sound like without the per audio? Do it in mono. Wait, that's for bass. We don't have any bass. So turn that down. This is starting to sound like a glass now. Okay, let's say be it. It's just like a little bit of enhancement to the reverb of the glass. And then like a little bit more on the crunching. I still want to find where in the spectrum is that happening, so go over here, grab our spectrum under audio effects. We'll see. Looks like up here at 10K is our glass, and then our crunching is down here near 1K. So that gives us a little bit of an idea of where we can EQ this reverb. So let's go back over here and kind of look at those areas. So we want our 1K to be a little bit more enhanced, I would say. Can probably move this as a shelf and use number 2 here, and then just switch 1 to be right up against there. And we'll just give a little bit of boost to that range, meanwhile keeping it tamed down here, and then using this 4 over here near the 10K range to give it like a little bit of a high shelf, but I think it adds a little much to the glass because the glass sound already has some reverb just by nature of the sound in a glass. So let's go ahead and duck it a little bit here, and let's see what that sounds like. Okay, let's try to boost a little more. Okay. Still too big. What about all the way down? There we go. What does the convolution do here? Oh, I see. So we have like different algorithms to apply the reverb in. So we can do like a parallel mode, serial mode, algorithmic, or convolution. Looks like serial and parallel algorithm lets you choose this, whereas convolution just sets it to this. So let's go parallel. Change our crossover around to right under 1K. I think we're losing some information here. Like those crunches, maybe be down here in this range. Sounds much more realistic, I think. But let's go ahead and turn that up a little bit more now that we're messing with the reverb. I think the gain has suffered a bit. So we did that on the sampler. So I'm going to go here. I think the Crunch 2 is working fine. So let's test this out. What's the level here? So Crunch 2, it's looking like 34 dB, minus 34, and we're at minus 40 actually. That's a little bit louder. Why is that getting lost? Oh, it's because of the velocity. Okay, let's just go edit the MIDI clip then. Okay, so back to our MIDI clip. It looks like our crunches are a little too muted now, so let's just raise these up. I'm just gonna test it real quick with maybe like around halfway mark here. Okay. Okay, so let's try that, 67 for the rest of them. Or around there. Some variation would be nice, so... do one like a little louder, and then we'll start at like 70, or maybe like dampening, like, yeah, I like that idea. Do a little lower and lower. Maybe like there. 67. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the left hand. I need to look at the right hand one. Do like 65 and then 40. Okay, that sounds about right. Okay, so we have our cat sounds sounding pretty good. I think we turned off the audio stereo, so let's see what it sounds like with or without that, and with our new reverb. So just to make things a little more interesting, let's see if that changed anything. Okay, so now we have a reverb sound of coming from the glass, hitting the walls, and then coming back to your ears. So that's like probably as realistic as we can get there. So I think I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and see what it sounds like with the rest of the mix here. Okay, I'm happy with that for sure. I think we can just like clip our sound off here, and then maybe like a little bit of a fade as usual. That seems about right. That's as realistic as I can get that one, folks. So I think that's the end of it. I guess we could call it a night, and then I'll submit what I've got, and then see what people think. I'm happy to answer any questions about this process. Check in the chat here every once in a while. It looks like not much is happening, or my computer is just frozen on these pages because that's how slow my computer is. So sorry if I didn't interact with you if you asked a question or had something come up, but I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here and then submit what I've got. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any other comments, feel free to leave it. This is on YouTube and Facebook as well, so comment on the video, give me feedback, let me know what you thought of this LoopCreate challenge video, and whether you had any questions about the process and what the or any ideas, like maybe you tried it yourself and had an interesting find, like just going through the process of making this Foley noise for these videos. So anyway, signing off. Talk to you later, or see you next time.